Handling freight. There are many ways to receive and bill out freight in MaxxTraxx. Freight can be put on a customer bill using an add-on charge added to a part, or a labor, or as a labor with a special product code for proper tracking and accounting. But probably the most accurate and traceable way to receive and bill out freight is to treat it as a sublet labor. Let's take a look. From an open repair order, highlight a labor, and click the Sublets button. And we're going to select Freight. I'll enter the freight cost and the freight charged to the customer in the starting sublet price field, and these are the same for my example, and click OK. Now the water pump and the sublet labor both have low stock or short sale warnings, meaning that both the water pump purchase and the freight charge need to be entered in a MaxxTraxx before the RO is paid and closed. So let's create a parts order for the water pump and the freight that I will be charged from the dealer. Click OK Save and select Save, and I will get this low stock warning screen which prompts me to create that parts order. I will select the water pump and the sublet for the freight and click Next. Select the dealer from this list, and now this sublet is assigned specifically to this water pump job. I called this order into the dealer, and I don't actually have online ordering for them, so we'll just save this parts order until the parts are delivered. When the parts are delivered, click the Order Parts icon on the toolbar. Highlight the parts order and click this green check mark to convert it to a received vendor invoice. And here is the charge for the part and the freight in the form of a sublet. Now let's say I did not know that there would be a freight charge when I created this parts order. The parts were delivered UPS, and surprise, I got a freight charge. I could add the freight to the received vendor invoice right here and assign it to the repair order, which would prompt me on that repair order to add the freight to the bill. This is a good method to ensure that the customer gets the freight billed to them and the freight charge is handled just like a part. But let's say I'm not going to charge the customer for the freight. I could still create a sublet bill, and that sublet would just stay in the sublet inventory account until the end of the year when I clear it out. Remember, sublets are moved automatically from the sublet inventory account to the cost of goods sold account when the sublet is sold on a repair order. Now, if these sublets are not billed out, they stay in the sublet inventory account. I typically have a few tow bills, for instance, that are sublets that I've entered that I don't bill out to the customer in the case of a comeback or something like that. So freight can be in this group with the tow bills. They're treated like parts in inventory until they're billed out. Similar to taking a physical inventory at the end of the year, we need to remember to clear out that sublet inventory account with a general journal entry, manually posting that leftover balance in the sublet inventory account to the cost of goods sold account sublet, just like a parts inventory adjustment. Another option here is to not create a sublet labor at all if you don't want to pass the expense onto the customer for the freight. Just enter the amount you're charged by the vendor for that freight into this freight field, and the amount entered here is posted to the freight expense account on your financials as soon as we post this received vendor invoice. And this concludes the lesson on handling freight.